Hey everybody, Professor Hyde here. Recently I emailed you all some information about your Apollo accounts, and I've been getting a few questions about it. Specifically, what is it? And then secondly, what do you do with it? So first off, what is it? In simple terms, it's space on the web server that the school is going to provide you so that you can publish all of your work to a web server and view it. How do you use it? We are going to use a protocol called File Transfer Protocol. More often than not, you're going to hear it referred to by its abbreviation, which is FTP. And to do FTP, we're going to use an application called FileZilla. So I thought the best way to explain this to you would be, let's go ahead and publish a test web page to the server. So recall from your syllabus, for the purpose of this course, you were only authorized to use a select few text editors to do your work. One of those is called Komodo, which is the one I happen to like the most right now, mainly because of its IntelliSense. So if you go ahead and open up Komodo, and you go to the second button, New File from Template, yours might look a little bit different, but what we want is we want to be in the common category, and the template that we are looking for is HTML5. So what I do first is I go ahead and do the path. Where you all choose to store your files is totally up to you. I just happen to be putting it on my desktop. So I will go there and hit select folder. Next, we're going to go ahead and enter a file name. So I'm just going to do test.html. And then I'm going to click on the open button. So here you go, a very simplistic HTML5 template. But there is a problem with the default Komodo template. Let's go ahead and show you what the W3C says a basic template should be. So what is the W3C? The W3C is an abbreviation for the World Wide Web Consortium. As far as HTML development, they're kind of a big deal, largely because they are the regulatory authority for HTML and CSS. So if you ever have a problem and you want to Google it or research it, it's in your best interest to just type W3C and then type whatever it is you're looking for. So we're looking for an HTML5 template. So you can see that I typed in W3C HTML5 template. And then go ahead and click on the first link. And there you go. So this is what the W3C says is a basic HTML5 template. And if it's not obvious to you, the thing that we are missing is the second part, which is the character encoding charset. So you can just go ahead and copy that, and then we'll go back to our Komodo and we will paste it in there. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit. And there you go. That's a very basic HTML5 template. I think your book will have the language too, which you can go ahead and add. But for the purpose of this simplistic example, we're going to go ahead and move forward from here. So first off, we're going to go ahead and change the page title. We're going to do first name, last name. We'll just do test page. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some content. So the element that I'm going to use is a heading element, specifically the H1 heading element. And here you're going to begin to see the value of Komodo and its IntelliSense. By that, as I begin to start typing, you see that it starts giving me options. So if I go ahead and close that, it automatically created my closing tag. So again, that IntelliSense is just really useful to you as you're typing your code. So for the content, we're going to go ahead and do hello world. Let's go ahead and save this. And then let's view it in our web browser. I tend to use Firefox. So there you go. There's nothing preventing you from viewing a local file inside of a web browser. More often than not, it will look exactly the same as it does on the server. How do you distinguish whether or not it's on the server or local? You just look at the URL. So if it's local, usually you're always going to see this file, and then you're going to see the path to the file name. So now let's go ahead and publish our web page to our Apollo account. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and open up FileZilla, and the host is going to be apollo.occc.edu. You don't have to put the FTP extension because this is an FTP application, so it kind of intuitively knows it. Next, you're going to do the login that I gave you. Obviously, yours is going to differ from mine. And then you're going to go ahead and enter in your password. I didn't make them, so you can't yell at me for them. A common problem I see here is the password is case sensitive. If you don't know what case sensitive is, that's the capitalization. So if your password has like a capital Z, you're going to want to make sure you enter a capital Z where it is, or else you will get an error. And then we'll click on connect. You don't need to enter the port. You probably won't get this. This is just from my previous connection. So usually you'll know you're connected because you see a file right here. Also, you get some status information towards the top. So what you're seeing here is what was covered in chapter 1, where we were talking about the client-server relationship. So on your left screen is your client, on your right screen is your server. Up here, you're going to want to navigate to wherever you stored your file. So this shows your entire directory for your local PC. I happen to have put mine on my desktop. So once I click on desktop, it populates down here, and that's the folder that I used. And so if I want to publish something from my client to my server, it's as simplistic as clicking, dragging, dropping. So there you go. I just published test.html to my Apollo account. So now I want to go test it and see if it's up there. So to do that, I'll just go to the Apollo. You'll type in your username, and then you'll type in your file name. Oops, I did index instead of test. Perfect example. There you go. So there is my web page. So this was the H1 tag, and this was my page title. So my mistake is what a lot of students do. If you happen to mistype the URL in any way, then you will get a page not found. So for example, if I type that, then I will get the not found. So if you're getting this, go ahead and go back and look what you actually named your file and make sure you're typing it in right. So there we go. Another common thing with a FileZilla is a lot of people are like, I know I published that file, but it's not published. Quick thing to do is in the web browser, go ahead and click on it and do a Control-U. A Control-U will show you the source code for your file. So I can go ahead and read my code and be like, yeah, this is the right code, this is the right file. So there you go. We published a very basic web page. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.